Kia ora and hello, Chester for Earth Sciences New Zealand. Come up, pull up a chair, have a seat. Let's have a talk about the upcoming weather for New Zealand. I actually want to start with our NIWA 35. This is a 35-day outlook that I'm going to show you here. And this particular forecast here looks ahead, well, you guessed it, 35 days out into the future. And look at that first period right here through the 20th. A wet lean expected for pretty much all of New Zealand. That includes what happens this upcoming weekend and into the first couple days of early next week. Wet pattern continues, especially in eastern parts of both the North and the South Island. As we close out the month of April and looking ahead into May, a little bit drier of a trend, not a complete dry trend, but a drying trend across New Zealand. As we sort of get out of this current weather pattern that we are in, which is one that is leaning wet. Ever since the cyclone Vaianu came through, and actually the days leading up to it, we had some wet weather, especially in the North Island. And now we're all going to experience at least some sort of wetter weather across both the North and the South Island here for the days to come. So what is driving this wet pattern? Well, this first period here on the left side of your screen includes the period leading up to Vaianu and the days that have since followed. We've had some unsettled weather with several fronts flicking through across the country over the last couple of days. And now we're going to be looking at these fronts, one more front coming into the country this Friday. It's going to lead to what we call a cutoff area of low pressure. It's basically going to sit and rotate around New Zealand for the next couple of days. Let's take you through Saturday here. This is Saturday, this upcoming weekend, the 18th, and you can see a period of damp weather for the South Island, both Friday and Saturday, some heavy rain in the western parts of the South Island. And then heading into Sunday, that wet weather moves into the North Island with periods of downpours starting as soon as Saturday night and a few areas of downpours into Sunday as well. It's this pesky low that just isn't going to move much over the next couple of days, continues to rotate around New Zealand through Sunday, Monday, and even into Tuesday of early next week. In fact, you can see this is Monday afternoon and evening. We've got two areas of low pressure. The one over the Tasman, that'll weaken, and then a new one will develop, or we'll get what we'll call cyclogenesis here off the east of the North Island, or at least somewhere between the North and the South Island just to the east. We'll get a period of potentially some heavier rain to the South Island, in the east of the South Island on Monday into Tuesday as well with that onshore flow. So a wet period that we're heading to into the upcoming weekend. Another thing I want to show you is we've got what we call the 850 hectopascal temperatures. So we'll go to the upper part of the atmosphere, and a lot of what happens down here at the surface is driven by upper level energy, and that's what this is. This is an upper level area of low pressure that you can see tapping into some really chilly air. So temperatures are actually going to get colder heading into the early part of the weekend and into next week, and with that cold air aloft or upstairs in the atmosphere and relatively mild air at the surface, it becomes unstable. It's a sort of an atmosphere that Mother Nature doesn't like to be in. And when you get unstable weather like this, an unstable atmosphere, you have the potential to pick up thunderstorms. So these are going to be thundery downpours into the upcoming weekend, starting Friday really and into Saturday for the South Island, and then late Saturday and Sunday into the North Island as this slow-moving area of low pressure, both at the surface and aloft, upstairs in the atmosphere, moves across both the North and the South Island through the upcoming weekend. I want to show you very quickly our dew point. This is indicative of the moisture that we're going to be dealing with over the next couple of days. You can see that Friday, that front flicking through, tapping into that moisture-rich air that comes out of the Tasman, and then moving into the South Island and across into the North Island for the weekend. And as that low, which is positioned right about there, moves in, that helps destabilize the atmosphere. You've got moisture, instability. That's an ingredient for thunderstorms. So again, thunderstorms likely through the weekend, and then early next week we'll still see unsettled weather, probably not quite as thundery, but certainly periods of rain across the country and showery weather, even some periods of hail as well for some of the colder areas, because you have that cold air aloft, so that allows for those droplets, those frozen droplets, to make it a little bit farther down into the atmosphere, and some of it can make it all the way down into the surface. So instead of staying up in the cloud and then melting and becoming rain, some of those little bits of ice from the cloud starts to find its way in some of those stronger downdrafts, pushed all the way down to the surface, and that allows for hail to fall as well. So we do expect periods of showery weather, sleety, showery weather through early next week, Monday, Tuesday, and even probably into Wednesday, potentially Thursday and Friday before this entire complex low clears out of New Zealand. And then we start to shift to what is a somewhat more settled weather pattern as we close out the final days of April. That's all I want to come in and see. Just make sure you stay ahead of the weather if you have outdoor plans this weekend. It's never safe to be outside during a lightning storm. You want to take those outside plans inside. Some of these downpours could lead to isolated surface flooding on both the North and the South Island, so you want to stay aware of the weather. Check the latest forecast, I should say. Also check in with our friends over the Met Service. They will issue any severe thunderstorm warnings and the potential of other rain and wind warnings. And of course, be safe out there and take care of one another. Kia ora and have a good day.